Picture the tall, rough and rugged Rocky Mountains in the background. Now close your eyes and listen for the sound of rushing water over smooth rocks. In your hand, you hold a thin rod, when all of a sudden you feel the tug of a line and hear the zip of the reel. This is the sport of fly fishing. Being an avid fly fisherman, I've experienced the hardships of being a beginner and the thrills of teaching someone else the joys of this sport. The sport of fly fishing has been around for centuries. The sport began at the Middle Ages as a way to catch food and is now regarded as one of the most prestigious forms of fishing in the world today. Just as the sport of golf has a prestigious history, so does the sport of fly fishing. We have come from using a rod and a string with a hook on the end of it to having complex rods and reels and real-life looking insects. And just as the sport of golf has some pretty amazing places to play, the sport of fly fishing can take you to some pretty amazing places as well. Over the next several minutes, I will explain the sport of fly fishing. First, by giving a brief overview of its history. Second, by introducing the equipment used today. And finally, by discussing some of the possible locations of which fly fishing can take you. Now together, let's take a look back at history. The history of fly fishing can be traced back to the Middle Ages. Fly fishing was first discovered when fishermen discovered fish taking small bugs which were too small to fit on the end of a hook. The method used during this time period did not involve reels at all. In fact, all they had was a rod, a line, and some hook. They used an ancient Japanese method called tenkara, which just used a rod and line. The equipment used today has come a long way since the Middle Ages. The basic needs for fly fishing include a rod, a reel, weighted line, and a leader and a few flies. When selecting a rod, you first want to select a rod based on weight. The weight of the rod is its strength. To do this, you first need to identify the species of fish that you're fishing for. For example, a basic small fishing rod, which is 6 to 10 inch fish, would be a 3-weight. For 10 to 20 inch fish, you would use the 5 to 6 weight rod. And if you were targeting big bass, you would use a 7 to 8 weight rod. And if you're using a rod for saltwater species, you would use a 10 to 12 weight rod. When selecting a line and leader, you want to select a line and leader that will accommodate the type of fish you are targeting. Leaders come in different sizes, and each leader is measured in the X system. The bigger the number, the lighter the line. The scale is measured on a scale from 0 to 8. Finally, the last thing a person would need to begin fly fishing is flies. Flies come in all different species, colors, and sizes. Flies are also measured in the number system. The bigger the number, the smaller the fly. When selecting a fly, you want to select a fly that is symmetrical, as lump-sided flies look unnatural to the fish. Which brings me to my final point. The sport of fly fishing can take you to some pretty amazing places. According to Captain Carter Morse, one of the most common misconceptions about fly fishing is that you have to have a river to fly fish. In fact, all you need is a body of water with fish in it in order to get started. Fly fishing can be done anywhere from Georgia to California. You can fish in cities or in God's country if you choose. Some of the most common places to fly fish are small mountain streams of the eastern United States. These streams can provide some serious one-on-one time with God and His creation, as they can take you to places that aren't even found on the map. Some of the biggest places that fly fishermen dream to fish are the countries of Patagonia, the Missouri River in Colorado, and Yellowstone National Park in Montana. In conclusion, as I stated, the sport of fly fishing has evolved into one of the most prestigious forms of fishing today. From its elaborate history to its worldwide destinations, fly fishing can lead one on an adventure, even if it's in your own backyard. I hope this will one day lead you to explore the sport of fly fishing.